Say what you like about the Monster Hunter franchise, it's never tried to hold your hand. It's always been a multi-layered mesh of depth levels, allowing a few hours of play for those who just want to dip in, but weeks and months of entertainment for anyone who takes the big plunge. Monster Hunter Stories came out for the 3DS towards the end of last year, and now it's made the leap onto mobile. In one way, it's the perfect Monster Hunter game for mobile play, but there are some problems inherent in the simplified DNA of the experience that still stick out. If you've played the 3DS version already, then what you're getting here is pretty much exactly the same, albeit without the extra screen or the clever sticky out graphics. If not, well, basically you're getting a standard JRPG. You play a plucky adventurer who becomes a monster rider. That means you can tame monsters, ride them about, and then use them in battles. There's a story bubbling on as well, and it'll push you from A to B, but with about as much authority as your average Monster Hunter story, which is to say, not that much. Where the main games in the series are in-depth, real-time action RPGs, and are all about timing and having the right gear, things are much more subdued. Battles take place in turn-based arenas, much like a Final Fantasy game. There's 3 different types of attack to choose from, and they have different strengths and weaknesses against one another. Go in a head-to-head with a monster and choose the wrong move, and you'll take a beating. You collect monsters as you play, and then you can pick which ones you ride about. This is where the Pokemon part of the game kicks in. You're grabbing super cute versions of creatures that are usually enormous and awe-inspiring. Now, they're more inspiring. Graphically, this version of the game has more in common with Zelda than it does the original Monster Hunters. There's a big, green, reasonably open world for you to explore. That said, the linearity of the experience is probably going to annoy some Monster Hunter veterans. As we mentioned in the original Monster Hunter Stories review on 3DS, this game has got something of an identity crisis. It's monster hunting light, but there's still a lot of those esoteric rules and ideas that you need to get to grips with. If you're already a fan, then you'll understand them from the get-go, which then exposes the game's simplicity a little bit too keenly. And if you're not a fan, all the symbols and iconography is just going to be confusing. By streamlining the experience to attract a mainstream audience, you wind up alienating the core fans. If it's a creature collection game you're after, there's not much here that Pokemon doesn't do better. And if you live for the nail-biting tension of core Monster Hunter games, where fights go on for 50 minutes in real-time, terrifyingly tense battles, this probably isn't going to do it for you. It is a good game, and it's going to appeal very strongly to a very narrow section of the populace. But ultimately, this hybrid is less than the sum of its parts, and it's difficult to recommend over the core games in either of its inspired franchises.